Hi, Glenn Peoples here, the Peoples Carpenter. I haven't put a video out for a little while, and that's just because the things that I'm working on are taking me a while, and that's life. Over in the cottage, I'm building a step-down area in the entranceway and preparing the space to install some French doors, and I will do that. That will all be in the next cottage video. Over in the workshop, I'm spending some time building a loft bed for my grandson, which is a little bit time consuming because I'm designing it partly as I go, but it's fun and that'll be out before too long. But in the meantime, I wanted to share 5 physical hacks to improve your mental well-being. Because mental well-being, well, you can approach it a lot of ways, but there's a very strong physical component to it, because mental well-being is about what's going on in your brain. Your brain is a physical object inside your physical skull, and there are some physical things that you can do to make it work better. The first thing, and it's appropriate that I'm doing it standing out here in the bright sunlight, is as early as possible each day, get out into the sunlight and get some of that good stuff into your eyeballs. Don't stare directly into the sun, obviously, but get exposure to sunlight. And the reason that that's a good thing has to do with setting your dopamine base level for the day. People sometimes hear about dopamine as a feel-good chemical, and that's not false, but it's misleading. It's a little bit simplistic. Dopamine is a chemical that is about reward and focus and your ability to engage and be alert. It does all of these things. And getting exposure to sunlight at the start of the day will enable your brain to produce that stuff for you, because what happens is the sun says to your brain as it enters your eyes, the day has begun. Get up and do your thing. And so the brain kickstarts and regulates your circadian rhythm, and it regulates and sets the baseline level of dopamine that will be with you for the rest of the day. And if you don't do that, you can feel foggy, you can feel disengaged, you can find it more difficult to engage in change. And it can become a self-reinforcing thing. You don't feel like getting up and getting out at the start of the day, and so as a result you don't do the thing that would actually help you to feel more like getting out and engaging with the day, namely coming out into the light. And you don't have to do it for a long time. Honestly, at the start of the day, getting, within say half an hour of getting out of bed, of waking up, as long as you don't sleep in too long, get 5 or 10 minutes exposure to the sunlight. More is better, but that's all you need to make a big difference in kickstarting your brain's chemical system to help you take on the world. Here's another really simple thing that you can do. It's called the physiological sigh. There is actually a proper name for it. So take a full breath in through your nose, and then at the point, not a crazy super deep breath, but then at the point when you would naturally want to exhale, don't. Just pause briefly, and then take a sort of top-up breath through your nose until your lungs are really full, and then slowly breathe all that air out through your mouth. So it's something like... Now, what's going on here in the physiological sigh? What you're doing is you're offloading carbon dioxide, and you are slowing down your nervous system, and you are really expanding those tiny air sacs in your lungs and assisting with oxygen exchange. When you're stressed, even just mildly stressed, your body is in a subtle, maybe not so subtle in some cases, fight or flight mode, and your breathing tends to be rather shallow. This exercise deliberately forces your body into the opposite state. It actually does slow down, calm down your nervous system, and you can feel it immediately. It won't solve everything depending on the state you're in, but it will definitely help. Especially if you live a generally stressful life, depending on what kind of work you're in, but even if you don't. Several times during the day, just stop and do this. You can do it once, or you can do it several times in one go. It'll take less than a minute to get that done. Just Breathe in again without exhaling, and then breathe it all out through your mouth. The physiological side, there's really good research behind this, and it works. Here's item number 3 to add to your list. And it sounds like a bit of a cliche, but a lot of things became cliches because they worked and they were really good, or they were true. And that is this: move your body. And I'm not talking about necessarily doing a full-on workout, although that's good for you too, of course. But it can be a really simple thing, like just for a few minutes, go for a walk. That's probably the easiest thing for most people. Or if you're so inclined and you've got the physical space, do a set of push-ups. Maybe that's not everyone's cup of tea. Or get up and do some stretches. Whatever it is that will move your body and make an impact on your heart rate. And that'll do a bunch of things for you. You will get a release of dopamine, which is good for your motivation and your focus. You'll get a release of endorphins, which is certainly good for your mood. Just doing physical exercise will increase the blood flow, which will enhance the amounts of oxygen that are in your brain, which will help you to think more clearly. So there are a lot of physiological benefits, and there's a real psychological benefit too, and I think most of us recognize that when we do it. And that has to do with inertia. When you're sitting there, especially at a desk, sitting at a desk is the worst. We're not made for that, but that's another story. And you're scrolling or you're overthinking a problem that you need to solve, before terribly long at all, it's easy to start to feel stuck, like you're spinning your wheels. Tearing yourself away from that is a way of breaking that feeling of being stuck. Getting up and moving will reset yourself so that you can come back to that with a fresh set of eyes, as it were. So don't wait until motivation finds you, because you could be waiting a very long time. Make it happen. Get up and make yourself feel different by moving that body. Physical hack number 4 is coming to you from this very small bathroom that I must renovate at some point. Things are not looking too great in here. And that is cold water exposure. Now, I'm not talking about plunging into an ice bath, although that is a great example. It may be something a little bit more subtle, like turning your shower cold for the last 30 or 60 seconds, which is daunting enough for some people. It's unpleasant, and that's really the point. When your body hits cold water, but really when cold water hits your body, it triggers a really sharp increase in awareness and a release of adrenaline and dopamine, and it increases your alertness, your feeling of being awake, and it enhances your mood afterwards as well, and not just because you're glad that it's over. At the psychological level, also, what you're doing is you're improving your ability to handle mild stress, because you're placing yourself into a mild stressor, namely the cold water, and you're reinforcing your awareness of the fact that you can stay calm throughout it because it can be controlled. It can even be something simple like filling your basin with cold water and plunging your face into it, or splashing it all over your face first thing in the morning. That will help as well. So look, if you're feeling sluggish, feeling a bit slow, feeling a bit mentally foggy, try this. Try exposing yourself to cold water. See what kind of a difference it makes. You might be surprised. And finally for now, hack number 5. This one has to do with what you do at the other end of the day. My first hack was about what you should do at the start of the day. What about nighttime? Try to reduce your exposure to bright light in the evening. And that means dimming the lights in your house, ideally limiting screens, especially an hour before bed. I'm bad at this. I just am. I know it. But I also know that this is good for me. The reason that this matters is that light doesn't just wake you up in the morning. It also tells your brain when not to wind down. Bright light at night suppresses what's called melatonin, which is the hormone that helps you to fall asleep. And if your sleep is off, everything is off. Your mood, your focus, your stress levels, they all suffer when you don't sleep well. Good sleep is one of the biggest drivers, possibly even the biggest driver of good mental well-being, and it is sensitive to light, and it really is that simple. So a simple habit is this: as the night sets in, reduce the amount of light around you. Start lowering your lights. Make your environment feel more like night. Start telling your body it is nighttime. and your body will be able to better prepare for sleep. It's a small change, possibly. Maybe for you it's a big change. But it's an easy change, I think. And it helps your brain shift gears appropriately and sets you up for a much better next day. And there you are. There you are. 5 relatively straightforward things that anyone can do that will make, in some cases, a small but positive impact on their mood, on their mental well-being throughout the day. They really are simple. Number 1, what was it? Get sunlight as early as you can during the day. Number 2, the physiological sigh. Even just doing that there, it felt good. I can tell it works. Number 3, move your body. Number 4, I have to reorientate my fingers. Cold water exposure. That can be a harsh one. Actually is good though. That short, sharp shock is beneficial. And number 5, turn down the lights at night. Make nighttime feel like nighttime and prepare yourself properly for a good night's sleep. I am Glenn Peoples, the People's Carpenter, and I will see you in my workshop or in the cottage shortly. Come on. Not too bold. Hello. Yeah, that's right. Hello.